Kyo Kusanagi is a main protagonist in the King of Fighters video game series. He was first introduced in KOF 94 as the leader of the Japan team. He is the primary rival of Iori Yagami. He was initially introduced as a cocky high school student who is the heir to the Kusanagi clan, one of the 3 clans that sealed the legendary serpent entity, Orochi, 1800 years ago. His family's treasure is the Kusanagi sword, and its symbol is the solar eclipse. Apart from the main series, Kyo has his own manga story, based on his adventure in KOF 96. A video game titled KOF Kyo was created to expand his character. Additionally, several animated songs and audio dramas featuring Kyo's character have been released, including content from his own image album. When designing initial characters for KOF, the developers wanted a new hero who could easily compete with characters from Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting. During most of its development stages, the character was supposed to be named Sayo Kirishima and wore common martial arts clothing from that time's fighting games. However, late in the production, the name was changed to Kyo Kusanagi, likely due to a change in KOF's storyline towards the Yamada no Orochi legend. His fiery nature, as well as the other powers of the rest of the Japan team, were derived from the anime Getter Robo. In the show, there were 3 distinct heroes who served as inspiration for KOF's trio. The novel's hero, the fiery character, Kyo; his friend, the edgy and daring one, Benimaru; and the third hero, the giant Daimon. Their moves were inspired by Joe Yabuki and Akira Fudo from the respective series, Ashita no Joe and Devilman. The fighting style was changed as part of the KOF 96 revamp. To satisfy all fans, they integrated an older version of Kyo from KOF 94 into KOF 97 and placed the 95 version of Kyo into KOF 98, making both versions of Kyo popular during playtesting. The idea of having 2 versions of Kyo at the same time led the developers to the concept of cloning, which was implemented during the early development stages of KOF 99. However, the game was focused on the new character K, and the closing storyline of Iori and Kyo. Nevertheless, the developers reconsidered this decision as they couldn't leave these popular characters behind. Since then, the veteran series developers acknowledged that the recurring appearances of Kyo and Iori can be attributed to the determination of the main planners and marketers, making it challenging to determine the storyline for each series. Regarding Kyo's voice actor, Masahiro Nonaka, he has grown into his role as he was once young and reckless. In later years, the design of Kyo and Iori has been changed due to the shift in KOF's storyline. The developers were concerned that the changes might not sit well with the fans. The series designers have mentioned that Kyo, along with his rival Iori, were some of the most challenging characters to design due to their popularity among the fans. Over the years, he has been voted as the second and third favorite character. 660 years ago, the Kusanagi and Yasukani clans were once allies. However, due to a terrible misunderstanding, the Yasukani broke the blood pact with Orochi for more power. They renamed their family name to Yagami, and the flames, which were once red like their former allies, turned purple. Since then, the clans have been engaged in a long-lasting generational warfare with casualties on both sides, which continues in the KOF series with Kyo and Iori Yagami. The Orochi saga takes place between KOF 94 and 97. Kyo surpassed his father's strength at the age of 15 and was appointed as the clan leader. Shortly after completing his training, Kyo competes in a competition in Japan to determine the country's representative team members in the KOF tournament. He meets both Daimon and Benimaru to become the team's leader, and the two ultimately become his comrades and friends. They reach the finals, where they meet the tournament's host, a powerful fighter named Rugal. Rugal expresses his desire to fight strong opponents and challenges them. After his defeat, he attempts to destroy his ship in an effort to kill them along with him, but the team escapes unharmed. Following this, Kyo decides to travel abroad for further training. In the following year, Daimon and Benimaru wait for Kyo's ship to arrive, when they are suddenly attacked by a masked assailant. Kyo returns and hurls a fireball at the mysterious person to destroy their mask, revealing that she is Rugal's secretary. She hands him an invitation to the KOF tournament, which is once again organized by Rugal, who survived the self-destruction of his ship. This time, Rugal has also brainwashed Kyo's missing father, Seizu, to attack his son. Kyo's team manages to bring his father back to his senses after rescuing him. To face the strength of the team, Rugal challenges them with the power granted to him by Orochi. However, Rugal's body was overloaded with the immense power of Orochi, and it faded away after his defeat. Before the events of KOF 96, he challenges a mysterious man, after revealing himself as one of the 4 heavenly kings of Orochi, Gonitz. Supported by his overwhelming confidence in his abilities, he is defeated by his opponent and ends up in the hospital. Despite his injuries, his anger and defeat drive him to develop new powerful techniques. He enters the KOF tournament to prove his strength to his unknown assailant. In the tournament finals, he faces the tournament host and heir to the Yada clan, Chizuru, and they are defeated with the help of Iori Yagami. Despite Chizoru's warning about his tribe's fate with Orochi, Kyo ignores her and immediately departs. Before KOF 97, he was annoyed by his high school classmate, Shingo, for teaching him how to create his flames. To escape his persistent annoyance, Kyo reluctantly agrees to mentor him in exchange for free meals. Before the next tournament, he has recurring nightmares of a mysterious man who defeated him in the previous tournament. His girlfriend, Yuki, was kidnapped by the Hakeshu to be used as a sacrifice to resurrect Orochi. He advances to the finals, where he faces the remaining 4 heavenly kings of Orochi, Yashira, Shermie, and Chris. Kyo fights a passionate and heroic battle for the sake of his girlfriend Yuki. When they are beaten down, Orochi possesses Chris's body and tries to destroy the 3 clans at once. The trio, Kyo, Iori, and Chizuru, succeeds in defeating him, with Iori holding Orochi by the neck, Kyo forcing his rival into paralysis with a final blow, allowing Chizuru to extract Orochi's soul and seal it. Kyo was then kidnapped by the Nest's organization and had his DNA used for cloning. He woke up one day to find himself surrounded by strange instruments and needles. Kyo decided to search for answers, escape from captivity, and flee the hidden fortress despite sedatives. He tried to get answers from his captors but was forced to retreat when the base around him began to collapse. He decided not to return home until the organization was eradicated, reflecting on the catastrophic failure of destroying South Town. He met Iori, and they fought to an unknown outcome. In KOF 2001, Kyo reunites with his old teammates and Shingo to rejoin the Japan team and pursue Nests. They part ways after the tournament, leaving Shingo to contemplate life. Later, Kyo encounters Iori again, and they fight to an unknown outcome. In KOF 2003, Chizuru approaches both Kyo and Iori, asking them to form a team and investigate suspicious activities related to Orochi. Initially, Kyo is reluctant to ally with Iori, although Iori seemingly didn't have the same reservations. However, he agrees to form the Sacred Treasures team. After defeating Mukai, the team inspects a weak Orochi seal they intended to relocate. However, they are ambushed by Ash, who steals Yada's mirror from Chizuru. Kyo promises to seek revenge on Ash and pursue Iori after that. In KOF 11, Shingo volunteers to join Kyo and Iori to compensate for Chizoru's absence and to stop Ash. Kyo eventually agrees to his inclusion after a long discussion. However, after they defeat Magaki, Iori is forced into a state of blood riot due to the growing presence of Orochi, brutally defeating Kyo and Shingo. Ash then appeared and stole the Magatama, his clan's jewel, inside Iori's body, along with his flames. The rival team, Benimaru, Duo Lan, and Elizabeth, arrived after the incident, with Ash telling them that Kyo would be next. The incident lands Kyo in the hospital, but instead of waiting for his recovery, he escapes. While wandering in the city, he encounters a mysterious boy and his partner who attempt to attack him. They display flame tongues to him and hand him an invitation before disappearing. Shortly after the encounter, he finds Benimaru and Daimon. He decides there's no need to visit Shingo or Chizuru in the hospital, meeting with the members of his old team to relive the glory days with them. After Ash's disappearance and his team's victory in another tournament, Iori appears and challenges Kyo to a fight with an unknown outcome. When the tournament was announced, Seizu informed him of a new threat that would lead to unimaginable chaos. At his father's request, Kyo enters the tournament once again with his old teammates. After the tournament ends, Kyo is advised by Shunei to continue his training to control his powers. At the airport, after bidding farewell to his teammates, he heads to Hungary. Chizuru has summoned him there to help her deal with Orochi, who has been revived but is weakened, and was earlier found by Iori. He is quick to dismiss matters that don't pique his interest. Despite his arrogant and brash behavior, he values his friends and family and enjoys their presence, especially his girlfriend, Yuki. His intense disinterest in academics led to his failure to graduate from high school, even though he's confident in his poetry talent. However, most of his poems are not well received by his audience. Kyo takes on the responsibilities of the clan on a more personal level, ignoring ancient myths and past events as reasons for his actions. His strong sense of justice and enthusiasm in battling powerful adversaries is what he believes drives his destiny. His rivalry with Iori is one of the long-standing mutual animosities, barely restrained by clan history. When Kyo and Iori join the team, it often happens reluctantly and as a last resort to address the looming conflict.